What's going on, guys? It's Eric. Before I forget, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and please comment. On today's video, I actually have a little bit of a format of what I want to talk about. So I'm going to be looking at some notes, but don't worry, it's not going to be perfect. Um, I'm sitting at my house. It's well for everyone watching it live or whatnot, but it's just I was just on YouTube actually looking around to see what was going on, and I didn't see anything worth looking at. So a couple of my kids are up still. They're watching some Netflix, and my daughter and wife are upstairs sleeping. So the boys are kicking it here. So anyways, I've been thinking about doing this video for a while. Let me clean my screen off here. What's up, Alex? Are you the one that asked me about hauling or about that dirt in the questions, or is that some? No, that wasn't you. Anyways, okay. So let me get into it. So, if you guys want to chit chat, we can do that at the end of the video. But for now, I'm just gonna try to stay on topic. So, the first of the three things that I feel is well. First off, I want to clarify that. So this is a video and how to of my opinions and how to be a successful fleet owner for a small fleet. Now, I don't know where the difference between a large fleet and a small fleet is, but I'm just gonna say probably 10 to 15 trucks, and more importantly, up to 10. So like from 2 trucks to 15, I'd say. I don't really know because I don't have 15, but you're still fairly small at that level, even though some people have huge heads and think they're bigger than they are. But um, not to say that that's not impressive, it is, but I'm just saying it's. Um, so basically, and it's more important to not about how many trucks you have, but how many actual drivers do you have, because you can have a bunch of trucks and no drivers, and it's not a big deal. So with all the rambling, I'll get on with it. So the first important thing becoming a successful person in society, let alone just owning one truck or a fleet, is budgeting. The best thing that I would recommend is basically you're gonna have a lot of money coming in, and if you don't budget, you're gonna spend more money than you actually are profiting in your trucking business. So that's uh, a good way to basically put you out of business real quick. So that's the first of the tips. The second tip is you want to be good at delegating. So basically, um, your drivers are going to push you into pushing the owner of the company into roles that the owner isn't good at. And it is okay for the owner to say, well, that's not really my job. Like, I'll figure out how to make it happen, but there's nothing that I can do about that because, like you, I don't know about that. So if they don't know about it, it doesn't necessarily mean that the owner of the company should know about it either. So basically, what can happen is you start getting trucks and clients and drivers, and you still drive yourself, and things need to be repaired. You need to keep the trucks driving. You have a family, they need you. You're you might have to meet with clients. Uh, there's all these things, and if you let all of those things control you, you're basically gonna go nuts. So one thing that's been really helped me out a lot is I just focus on what I actually like to do and what I'm good at. And then I find other people that are good at what they're good at and what they like. And then I have them do that. So, and some of this came after. I mean, this is all stuff that I just had to figure out over time. I mean, I just think, one of the things that was what's going on, New Blurred. One of the things that it took me some time to uh, figure out was, you know, my wife, she wanted me home on the weekends, and I used to get all upset because I have a business to run and I don't have time to do everything, and who's going to do it if I don't? So I was really annoyed with that when I first got started, but then that curse ended up being a huge blessing because if I was working 7 days a week, which is probably what it would have taken, then at some point I would have said, it's not worth growing anymore, or I don't want to do this, or I'm working so hard and it's not worth it, and stuff like that. At some point, I feel like you're going to burn out. So, but I think to keep it fun and something that you like to do, which doesn't mean that every day you're going to love it or like it. And I'm not saying, pick you got to be passionate about everything and blah, blah, blah. That's not what I'm saying. But something that you don't dread doing every day in, day out. So for me, what I'm good at is getting direct clients, which helps me be about, you know, 5 to 15% more profitable than a trucking company that's not good at uh, getting their own clients. So, so that helps me there. And then the other thing is that that's what I'm good at. And then another thing that I'm good at is I'm a good driver and I like to drive. So that helps me out. So I would rather drive and then pay somebody $100 or $120, or what it normally is about in between 30 and $50, but to fix my equipment. So I don't want to drive, work a 12-hour day, and then fix my own equipment. I would rather pay somebody whatever they want to do that so that I can just come home and just do what I have to do. But I still have to manage it. But so as I got I have my cat. I'll just show you right there, and then my little puppy dog. You see her? They're they need some attention, I guess. So that's what they're doing. Um, so that's kind of that. My third point tip is if if you want to actually have a fleet, you're going to have to deal with different personality types of drivers. And even if they're good, it's still they're different, and you're going to have to figure out a way to manage that, right? So and um, so what I always think of is if you don't have drivers, then you don't have a business. So they are a huge part of your business. So you need to actually treat them like they are. And one thing that small fleet owners do is they feel like their most important driver is themselves. And then what ends up happening is I feel like a lot of owners put themselves in front of their drivers. So then what ends up happening is then they don't have any drivers because they're doing selfish. They're being selfish. They're doing they're making short term decisions based on, you know they're making short term decisions. So what it's doing is it's then the drivers get resentful. They don't want to work for you, whatever, because you're more focused on yourself than you are the drivers. Hey, Dirty, thanks for the thumbs up. Appreciate it. Um, I just running through these points, and then we're just gonna kick it if anyone wants to stay and hang out. So basically, um, that's one of the most important things about being a small fleet owner is having good drivers. And one of the things is just, just trying to be as put yourself in their shoes as much as possible, and not having them have to deal with all the BS that you wouldn't want to deal with. So just keeping it as driver friendly as possible for them. um, and then something that I had thought of after this was, I wanted to just talk about, it was like a bonus, would just be kind of your expenses. You want to keep your expenses low. You don't need brand new trucks. Um, you need to be profitable. And I feel like, hold on, I got these two. Can you go? Go. Parker, will you call Dot? Go. Go lay down. Go lay down. So basically, you don't you don't need the best trucks. You just need to make sure that they're reliable, and not raggedy. Like if you're gonna have drivers in there all day, or I feel like this is just something that I feel like that's helped me out is, if I'm gonna have a raggedy truck, the most raggedy truck that I'm gonna have is gonna be the one that I'm gonna drive, because I want, because I don't drive every day, but my drivers that do drive every day, I want them to have something that's actually comfortable and nice, and they don't want to have to deal with unreliable stuff. It affects their paycheck and stuff like that. But at the same time, we don't need to go out and buy brand new trucks and then make sure they're under warranty, and then um, trade them in quick, because now they're, and lose all this money on the trade in because you're afraid of the warranty. It's just, uh, I guess another bonus tip would be, just you got to have a network of people that can help you out, and uh, mechanically wise, and just take care of the stuff when it breaks. Just plan on fixing it, and you can go from there. So, all right, that's all I had for you guys. I'm gonna say what's up to you guys now. What's up, Chris? What's up, Dirty Broke? Newblurg, Alex. Anybody else in here? Give me a thumbs up if you would, and if you're in here, just say what's up. Oh, what's everybody up to tonight? You guys watching any sports? That's a joke. That is a bad joke. What up? What up? Come on, guys. What it is? Alex, when you ask about how much profit do you think is realistic, do you mean you like that? Profit? Are you talking about net? Are you talking about profit after your labor of you driving, or are you talking about? I got you, percentage wise. So are you talking about after your wages or your driver's wages, or are you talking about just like the total money that you could spend after expenses, including you driving the truck in your salary? And let me know if you don't get what I'm asking. What's up, guys? Welcome in here. If you guys are, just let me know who's in here. Say what's up. Okay, and you're driving, Alex? Are you the driver? Or are you counting your profit in there, or are you put a driver in there and then after the driver expenses? Okay, so you're the driver. Okay, so let me see what your actual original. I mean, really, let's say that you. I mean, I guess a good business they say is like, 10%, but you can easily do if you're the driver because like that's just crazy. So like, let's just say that you got 200, you're grossing 200,000, and then I mean, I feel like, quiet, go, Parker, call these turds. I mean, you're gonna, you can pay yourself, or a driver is gonna make 50,000 to 80,000 a year. Um, the truck's gonna do about 200,000 if it works every day. Oh, hold on, I gotta get the kid rescued here. Come here, come here. Oh, sorry about that. So basically, the driver's got you're gonna pay yourself as a driver. You're gonna make whatever you make, and then the truck's gonna do whatever it does. So I guess what I would say is whatever the driver is gonna make. What I would say is about, so on my second truck, which was a huge turning point for me, was just to get two trucks. Was, I think, after all my expenses, I netted 20 extra $1,000 basically in my bank account with having another truck running. So I don't know how much the actual truck did, so I don't know what the percentage is, but really you can't count in a true business model, you can't count your wage as an owner operator in being a part of the actual profits, because that's a labor thing, and you got to assume that you weren't the driver, even though I know you asked that. But so basically other aspects, uh um so all the office, so my wife and me we own the business together, and she's a big part of the business. So she does pretty much all the office stuff. Like she pays the drivers. She set up the LLC. She did all that stuff. Set up the LLC, got us our authority. Um, which once you have it, it's not, you're not setting up your authority every day. But she's the one that did all that stuff, and then it got to the point where I'm telling her, like, you're stressed out about stuff and I don't want to deal with it, so we need to hire you an office person, or us an office person, so that you can not, you know be the so we don't have to fight about things in our business. So we still do, because we're people, and we have, running a business is stressful, and having kids is stressful, and then you mix them together, and that's just what happens. But now, so what we have is, we have like someone that does our billing, like an actual employee that does our billing, and she files all our IFTA reports, and our like, she keeps track of our driver files, which is a huge deal, in our inspections, and she files all of our truck files and stuff like that. And I don't even know what else she does, because it's not my department. But basically Callie manages her, and then I also ask her to do stuff. But I do the dispatching, and then I deal directly with the drivers, and I find drivers, and and I drive, and then I find clients, and then client relations. That's kind of what my role is. And then what if I need to do something with the mechanical stuff, I will. I don't have a designated. I'm the first call when there's something wrong with the truck, but then I say, okay, I'm not running out there to deal with it. It's like, okay, we're going to call a tow truck. At one point, when I didn't have money, I would do that. But now it's like nothing will interrupt my day. If somebody has a flat tire, then we're gonna have to call and get it fixed and pay a ridiculous amount of money, because I'm not gonna stop what I'm doing and go put a tire on the side of the road if I'm out with the family doing something. They're just but at one time it was like, well, I can't afford a $500 uh, tire thing, or but now it doesn't come out of my pocket. I have the money in there, and it gets absorbed. It's just one of those things that it is. It's what it is. Yeah, the only my wife does the accounting, so I there's it's yeah there's no. I mean, my wife, she does payroll, the invoicing and stuff. There's no real way. There's no cash or anything like that in trucking, so it's just all. But I hear what you're saying. Brad, no, thanks for asking that question. Where have you been watching my stuff for a while? I don't know if I've seen you in here before. Where are you from? Are you a driver right now, or what do you do? Yeah, you're one of those guys that's freaking blessed with freaking knowing how to. You got all the skills. Like, that's one of the things that was like just a blessing in disguise. It was a curse, but I felt I had two things. My wife, she just really, she always said, you can do trucking, but you're not going to go over the road. And then the other thing she said is that um, you got to be involved with the family, because it's not worth it if you're not going to be involved. So, and like, I was resentful of that and pissed off about that for a long time. And then, but the crazy thing is when I before trucking, we owned, my father-in-law and me owned a lawn care company together, and we did plowing, and it was just like, it was me and him and everything, and we had employees, but the employees in the lawn industry are not the greatest. So we were heavily involved, and you just got burnt out. We just got burnt out. So I know exactly where you're at, and it's just hard to, especially, I'm really lucky because my wife has helped out a lot, and I don't even know a lot of that side of it, but I don't know if what I said helped. But you just have to, you're gonna feel like, because my father-in-law Wankster, if you've seen him in my videos, he trucks with me, and he actually is a mechanic. We did that for a bunch of years, like 25 plus years, and it's so hard for him to let go of letting somebody else work on his truck. And the crazy thing is I agree with it, but it's just one of those things that I just come to grips with, that I try to act like I'm not that handy, but I really actually I'm okay. I can like do things, but I don't have the time to do it all. So I just got to do what I like to do, and then just be the, firefighter when there's a problem, fix something. Like sometimes I bring trucks in and yeah, Wankster, I gave him that name. Wayne. I call him Grandpa and Wankster. He's yeah, he's basically a character in my YouTube channel show, but he'll be on here more this summer when we're out trucking. I'm gonna do a lot more lives because I can, now that I can go live, so on my phone. What kind of trucking do you do, Brad? Local, over the road, and then like what specifically? Like flatbed. I mean, with four trucks, you might be at the point where you're like, maybe you're not even, maybe the worst thing that the thing that you don't want to do might be just not driving, which, you know, if you might be a better mechanic. If you're paying $120 an hour for a mechanic, or 80 or 50, your time might be better spent wrenching on stuff and hiring a driver, so I don't know. Alex, you still in here? I just saw your question on my opinion on debt. Okay. Okay, I'll get to your question, Alex, in a second. Oh yeah. Yeah, it was Brad or Barry. It was freaking hard getting contracts. And it still is a fight. Like, but sometimes the best, if that's your goal, sometimes it's best to form some alliances, which the hard thing about alliances is it's hard to trust people, but you got to try to make yourself look bigger than you are, and there's a lot of luck that's involved too, I feel like. But one thing that I'm actually very good at is I'm actually good at sales, and I'm not afraid to pick up the phone and call people. I'm actually better at sales than I am at trucking, but it's just kind of my goal was one new direct client a year, and then sometimes more. That's my minimum goal, is one a year, which, I mean, how many direct clients do you need in trucking? I mean, one, really. You get one good client and you don't ever have to make another phone call again, really, but you should. in my opinion. Very cool, Brad. Good to hear. I think that'll help out a lot. The gift of gab. Yeah, I do. Do I think one truck would pay all the bills slash maintenance on a two truck operation? Yes, absolutely. If you were driving it, you could have one truck sit. You could have one truck sitting and you could pay all your bills. But the thing is that you would have to have your personal bills. You couldn't be just sucking all of your profits into your personal finances. So when I first got started, Barry, and just so you know, Alex, I'll get to your question. When I first got started, Barry, I do local and I do mostly sand and gravel, but I do know about dry van reefer and a little bit of flatbed. But and that was I have actually one direct client, and we go all over the place. And then Adam, who's kind of my mentor, um he's like pretty good at the spot market stuff. So um anyways, so to answer your question, did you ever do it? So what I basically am trying to say is, when I started, I just started with a truck, and I worked for a big broker that supplied the belly dump or side dump. I had a belly dump, and then I just they dispatched me every day for about a year, and a year and then about a year and a half, and then my first goal was is being more profitable so I could make about 10% more with my own trailer. But then I also so anyways, so I bought my own trailer, I stopped working for them, and then I worked for one other person, um, or one a I held frac sand because that was going on, and now it's not, but that's what I bought it for. So then I got out of that industry, but then I got back into it, and then let me see. I'm like rambling here. What did you ask? Did you ever do a lot of subcontracting too? So basically, when I first started, all I was a sub, and then eventually I got backed into something where a lot of the time I would say about 70% of the time I had my own work, and the other 30% of the time I relied on people that had the main account, and I worked for them with my own trailer and my own authority. And then now I almost I hardly ever do anything but my own work. If that's what you're asking. Otherwise, you might be asking, do I use other people to help me with the workload that I have? And if that's what you're asking, yes, I do. Yep, yep, and that's what I do. I do the same thing, and I'm actually make a lot of money that way. I mean, that's the reason why. Another reason, and that's something that I'm good at. So that's okay, Chris. I'll answer your question. I got to get answer Alex's question. He basically asked, you guys can answer these questions too. Barry, I'd love to hear your thoughts on Alex here. He's asking about debt, basically. What's my opinion on it? And I'm gonna say it like this, and then we can talk about it. But basically, if you know who uh what's his name? the guy on the finance guy, Dave Ramsey. If I would have listened to Dave Ramsey and follow his plan, there's no way I would be where I'm at right now. And I'm sitting pretty good right now. Okay. But at some point, which it's almost like I have stuff to lose, I kind of listen to what Dave Ramsey says and I agree with it to some degree. I don't, there's a balance between being super leveraged and then having no, and then having no, and then being all whatever what it would be, basically having no debt. I think that if you can be debt free, that's great, but I don't think that. Well, that's cool. You guys still in here? What's up? Yeah, I my phone died. It let me get back in here. That's funny. I'm gonna let everybody get back in here. I'm gonna see what my kids are doing. I'll be right back. But yeah, I lost you guys because I my phone died, but I turned it back on and I'll be right back. What are you doing? Out of there. You better look for the bed. Mitchell up still? All right, guys. See, you guys check out my. I gotta show you these pajama pants. Look at those. I am such a BA. BA here. Get in the truck and wear those bad boys over the road. In the truck stops. Oh yeah. Wankster got me those. Alex, are you back in here? Answer your question. That's it. Actually, the funny thing is I used to actually wear these pants, or not these ones, but I'd wear them because I didn't care. I don't care what people think. I probably do, but I act like I don't. I don't. I mean, I really don't. I'm my philosophy is I'm way too busy to be worried about what some truck driver thinks. Um, but then my dad, he told me that I need to dress more representable. So I figured he's probably right when I'm trying to run a business. So I wouldn't really want my drivers running around with pajama pants on. So I get it. So that actually made a lot of sense. But I used to rock these with steel toe boots. Okay, Alex, let me get back into it. So basically, I wouldn't be where I am today if I followed Dave Ramsey's plan. Um, you know, I just didn't have the resources to expand the trucking business without taking on debt. But what I did was a job pays, let's just say it pays $100 an hour, which is that's a true, I mean, it could pay 90, it could pay 125, but that's a solid number in my area. So it pays $100 an hour for the truck and the trailer. The guy hiring the trucks doesn't care if your trailer is brand new and costs $70,000 or your trailer is 20 years old and it costs you $20,000. So basically, you don't need to expand by buying a new $70,000 trailer because it's not going to pay you any more or any less. It's just got to be reliable. So, and don't fall into the trap where you want to buy brand new stuff so that you don't have problems. You're just going to have huge problems when you have problems with brand new stuff because it's not proven. There's no parts for the stuff, and you have huge payments and no money coming in. So that's kind of what I did. And then and now where I'm at now what my goal is I try to own all my trucks outright, and then I don't mind having payments on my trailers. Because trailers, it's kind of like when you buy a trailer, it's a good place to keep your money. And a truck, they just depreciate. They don't hold any value. You're basically just throwing money away when you buy a truck. Like real estate, when you buy real estate, it usually goes up in value or you're not losing money. But with trucks, you basically are. But the nice thing about trucking with the saving grace is that trailers do not depreciate in value very fast. So and like you're saying, Chris, they're low maintenance. So that's basically my 2 cents. I don't know if you're not happy with the answer, just let me know and I can go into it more. Are you asking if that's a realistic number or you're just agreeing with me, Chris? Yep. Yep. I mean, the people who I respect the most, and if you guys haven't read it and you're into business, is Rich Dad Poor Dad, who he absolutely despises what Dave Ramsey talks about. But one thing that the guy that wrote the book, whose name is Robert Kiyosaki, talks about is that there's three sides to a coin. There's heads, tails, and then there's the center. And basically, what he's saying is that you think about what everybody says, and then you come up with your own conclusion. And you can't be all one sided. So I like what Dave has to say, but it doesn't. I don't pick and choose. Like I guess I'm picking and choosing, but I'm trying to be biased for my situation. And if you really want crazy amounts of wealth, or not even crazy amounts, but just I just wouldn't be where I'm at if I went to taking on some debt. But I also wouldn't be where I'm at if I wouldn't have just worked hard. And then another thing is I am a very profitable business because I don't have that much debt in an industry where most people do have a lot of debt. I mean, I just got my eighth, six, so five, six, seventh truck, and I only have payments on two of the seven. So that helps out a lot. I think that my maintenance expenses are probably higher to a certain degree. Sorry, I got to hold this weird because I'm charging my phone so it doesn't die on me. But I think I feel like it's better for what I do to have. I'd rather do it that way, the way I'm doing it. Dang it! I wish that Brad was still in here. Kind of was wondering about how he did his business. Brad or Barry? Brad. You're not in here still, Brad, are you? Seven trucks, Barry. I just got my seventh truck a couple days ago, and I've been in business since 2013. It, I think after three trucks, once I had three trucks, really I could get as many trucks as I want or could, but I have to be able to find good drivers that I want to work with and stuff, you know. I'm not at the point where I can just throw anybody in a truck. I have to know them or know they're good or whatever. And honestly, they're slim. They're not. They're out there, but that's what it is for me. At my point is, do I have the trucks, the drivers to fill the trucks? Because affording a truck, it's like, I don't want to sound cocky, but it's just super not that big of a deal. The point is that it's a no-brainer. Even if I have to finance a truck, it's a no-brainer to take on a driver if he's worth it and I have the work. But what and how I used to do it was because my goal was freedom and not to be making the most money in the world. Was so even when I had only one truck, actually it was two trucks. When I had two trucks and then I decided, wow, this actually works out pretty good, I want to get three trucks. Well, my goal was find somebody to drive my truck. I'll get out of the truck, then I'll have two drivers working, and I have enough money in reserves that I could go out, not work, not drive, not work, and then go out and get my third truck. So I didn't buy my third truck and let it sit. I found a driver to drive my truck, then I got the third truck. And now at this point it doesn't even matter. Like it, doesn't matter. Brad, you are in here. Full maintenance leases from Kenworth and two older paid off trucks. Profits are similar for longer mile loads. Right on. That's cool. Thanks for the information. So basically, what Brad's saying is, he's answering your question, Alex, about the debt. How do you handle debt? And I think that's, you know, kind of my thing too. I've got some newer stuff and I got some older stuff, and I like that way too because, like, Brad was saying, he's getting to the point where he's got just too much on his plate. Well, there's a reason why it might make sense to have two full maintenance lease trucks. So then at least he's not working on those two trucks, and it's not giving him an excuse not to expand. You know, so I mean that's the way I look at it too. I don't know if that's how he looks at it, but that's Barry. What do you? How many trucks do you have right now, Barry? Let's talk. The cool thing about having your authority, I get your question, but I was actually going to do a video on this. I probably still will, but the cool thing about having your authority is you can do whatever you want to do. Almost anything that you want to do, you can do. You don't have to ask for permission or, like I have some friends that are leased on to car hauling companies. Well, they're done for 2 months now. They can't just, and they have trucks. Like they have a lease to own contract with a company that no longer has freight for 2 months, and they can't transition. They're done. So I know that's not your question, but basically that is a good question. What I'm seeing is definitely not the car industry, and just there's a lot of stuff. I feel like the media is making it seem like trucking's booming right now, and I don't really feel like it is. I don't know what you guys are seeing. Yep, I hear you. I don't know. I mean, yeah, it's not an easy question to answer. Let's talk. Yep. Something, Brad. I don't know where you are at. Oh wait, never mind. I was thinking for some reason you said that you did flatbed, but you do dry van and reefer, so that was just forget that. Yeah, the fuel mileage on the new trucks is just incredible. What kind of you got Kenworths? I hear the Volvos are getting this is I can't even believe I'm saying this, but the new Volvos, they're getting like 8 and 9 miles to the gallon, like all miles. Like what in the world? That's just crazy. If you guys would hit the thumbs up button for me, it helps me out a lot. So you don't have one right now. Thank you. I've been doing a lot of research to get into the business, just trying to obtain as much knowledge. Yep. Oh, right on. So hold on. So you don't have one. Are you a driver? 8.1? That's freaking crazy. Oh my gosh. It's just unbelievable. I mean, that is so, I don't know. To me, that's amazing. That's like almost what a flippin' pickup truck gets loaded. Uh, that's with a Kenworth? What kind of engine does that have? What's up, Don? Where are you from, Don? You're looking at getting a box truck? What area are you in? What's your population? Does anyone have any insight on box trucks? So I actually just did a video on box trucks, and one of my buddies that also is a YouTuber, he said that there's tons of box trucks in Atlanta. I don't know much about it honestly, Don, but I feel like my like little thing that I always say is if if you can pay a driver and still make some money after it, it's worth doing. And the only way you're gonna know is just check into it and see. Regardless if you're gonna drive it yourself, you just want to be able to get into something that you're able to scale. Otherwise, I feel like, you know, that's the most important thing is if it's scalable, which it probably is. Yeah. That pack car engine, man. I'm impressed with those engines. My father-in-law Winkster has one in a, I don't know, some kind of a. He's got like a pretty nice Peterbilt. I mean, it's not like a 389, but it's nice, flat top. It's got a nice little sleeper on it, and he's not getting really great mileage with it. It's like an older one, like it's like a, one of the earlier Packard engines, but basically it's got a lot of power. I mean, it's pretty. I don't know. It's deleted, so they probably turned it up, but I don't know. I was impressed with it. You in here still, Don? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Wankster's Packard is probably a fairly earlier model, and it isn't junk. Um, I got two buddies. Well, one's a buddy, one's somebody that I know, and they both have 2008, probably 2019 fancy 389 Peterbilts, and one of them has the Packard, and the other one has the, what is it, the Cummins X10, or I don't know what the heck. Maybe I'm just making stuff up right now, but he's got the Cummins, and he has hired a very, yeah, the X15 must be it. Yeah, he hired somebody to get the lemon law with it because it's just a junker. And the guy that's got the Packard, he's the guy that I just know, unfortunately, and he's having good luck with his, which is probably good because he would go cray cray on somebody if it was, it'd be bad. Brad, do you run this, like, I know that you said you're kind of just picking up your first direct client, but do you run the spot market, or you have like a handful of brokers that you get most of your freight from? Someone asked me about that new truck, how that's doing. That truck needs work. If you're still in here, I don't remember who asked. We're doing a couple things to it. It's a newer. It's got the C13. Then it's got all the emissions and stuff and the double turbos, and we're gonna turn it into a single turbo, and we're gonna do some geeky cat stuff to it. So that's my mechanic working on that. Okay, I got you, Barry. So do you have your Class A right now, or are you in the process of getting it? Switchblade turbo. Okay, well, I think we already ordered stuff, but I'll have to talk to him and see, and I'll look into that. Well, it shouldn't be too hard to find someone to work for. You have, I'm guessing you don't have that much experience. All right, let me check that out. Go on the computer here. See what I can find on that before I forget, Chris. It's kind of funny. 10:40 here. My boys are up watching TV. I gotta look and see. We got to talk to um, we got to kind of pick Brad's brain on this, but Alex asked this question about the spot market, and I got a couple cents to say about the spot market. But hold on here, let me before this comment gets lost. The Switchblade Turbo. I gotta look up J Pay Dirt's videos. Okay. Dang it. J Pay. Oh, I get it. Pay Dirt. I get it. Now that makes sense. Oh, yeah, he's got some soot coming out there. Holy buckets. He got a bunch of videos. All right. Yeah, I'll have to check him out. I'll just subscribe. He looks like a good guy to subscribe to. I like Brad. Brad, do you do videos? You should be on here talking. I don't, not class experience. When I took a little break off from this trash company and picked up recycled driving side. Chris, wait, no, wait. Barry, yeah, I'm sure you'll find something. I would just look at what, where are you out of again, Barry? Like, how big of a city? What kind of stuff, what do you want to do? You have an idea? Because I don't even, might as well not even talk if you already have an idea of what you want to do. Spot market 2018 last year got a contract power only for $2 a mile. 3 trucks last year grossed around $1 million. This year working on direct produce have one so far. So yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Brad. So basically, Alex, I mean, he's doing it. Now, what I know about the spot market is this is the strategy that Adam does with the spot market, just to not go crazy. We look for something that is consistent, that's either coming in or going out of our area. And then once we find that consistent thing, then we're just looking for, somehow to get home. And after you do that for a month and you deal with the low rates and crap, you'll find something and you'll make some sort of a relationship with somebody, and all of a sudden you'll get uh, something where you almost don't even have to think about it, and you'll find something where it financially makes sense, and you're almost not even looking on the load boards anymore. You're just call this person, see if they have the load, call this person, or they'll call you. They'll say, hey, you want that load every other day? Yeah, I do. Okay, perfect. And then you just do it like that. And then you just kind of build your own lanes. and things will just, that seems to be the way of how it works, but I am not a super huge expert on that. Yeah, Brad, you should. Gas hauling, yeah. I hope I have you ever heard me talk about Dirty Dirt Broke, or is did you find me through him or something? Because that's what he does, and you need to check his channel out if that's what you want to do. Yeah, he's pretty good. I like him a lot, actually. There you go. Yeah, I think what I always do is when I want to judge how, like I judge, when people talk, I listen to them, and I don't just take everything they say as fact. I kind of think about what they're saying and then decide for myself. And one thing that helps is if you know a little bit about something and then somebody starts talking about something that just doesn't make any sense, then you kind of know, BS meter comes on and you're saying, well, I know about that and that just doesn't even really make sense. So what else do I not know about that they're talking about that doesn't make sense? And with Dirt Broke, it's just like the little bit of stuff that I do know about it. I just feel like he really knows what he's talking about, and he's just, I don't know. I like him a lot. Exactly. The feel, what I really want to keep on fuel side. I don't get what you mean. Let's talk. You're hauling fuel now. You think that the virus is messing your fuel hauling up? Is that what you're saying? I just don't understand. Okay. Yeah. So Barry, let's talk. So he is a fuel hauler. So now one thing that Dirt Broke says is there's a difference between what he does and hauling just any type of fuel. So he works for Love's, and they primarily haul diesel, which is like, if there's no diesel, if they're not trucking diesel, then whatever. So he's strategically in that industry of mostly hauling diesel. So I think that's something worth saying. Yeah, yeah, I hear you on the oil. Yeah, I get it. I get it. I'm sure you'll be fine. They'll come back on. How long have you been hauling for then? Let's talk. I mean, you've been hauling for a long time. Are you an OG at it, or are you just getting started? Okay. If you don't mind me asking, who are you working for? A big company, or and then are you an leased on owner operator or company guy? Okay. All right, guys, I think I'm going to get my kids to go to bed here. So, thanks for hanging out with me here. Yeah, Brad. Yeah, get your YouTube channel started. I'll have to hit subscribe to you for sure. Be fun to see. Yep, take care, guys. We'll talk to you later.